Kia ora, and welcome to another Sharp Kinane Limited software tutorial. My name's David Kinane. In today's tutorial we're going to continue looking at Fusion360. Specifically we're going to look at combining the draw tools to make complex shapes. We're going to look at the offset plane again and using the revolve tool to sculpt a complex shape as well. There's a lot to learn, so let's get right into it. Now that we've learned some of the basic tools of Fusion360, we can start using those same tools in different ways to make much more complicated shapes. So we're going to use the revolve tool a couple of times in this first part of the tutorial. I'm just simply going to make a simple disc to start off with. So I want to click my plane. What plane do I want to click onto? I'm just going to click a very simple 2-point rectangle. I'm just making something very simple. That will do us. Finish the sketch. There's my object. Let's step through the revolve process. So I'm going to choose revolve. First thing I want to do is select the object. There it is. Select my axis. I want to select on the green axis here, and it will sweep into a disc. Click OK. Now we've got our disc that we can sculpt with another revolve tool. Now to do that we're going to draw another shape with a complicated shape. So I'm just going to get myself oriented to the new plane. So I want to click on the plane here, and now I'm ready to start drawing. I've just zoomed into my disc. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, I think, just to make this a bit more accurate. Just zoom in. So it's important that I can still see the green axis here. So let's now just select. I'm going to select a range of tools. The first tool I'm going to use is the pen tool here, and then I'm going to use the fitpoint spline tool. We can combine them together to make these complex shapes. So first of all, I'm just going to create a shape starting from the very top of the height of my disc, and I want you to imagine that in fact what we're trying to make is a disc that has got a rounded top. So I'm just going to come out to the side here, come down, how big a scoop do I want to make? I'll just come down to here, come across to here. Now I'm going to change tools, and I want to put a curve between this point here that I've just touched the side of my disc back to the center point, the origin. So I'm going to just switch to curve here. I'm going to click on that point to make it active, and I'm just going to somewhere up here somewhere, I'm just going to click and drag to the left. That's going to set my curve, and finally come right up to this point here and click and finish. I'm going to finish with a return, and there's my shape. I'm going to finish my sketch. So I'm now going to use this new shape finish sketch here as a tool. This plane here is now going to sweep around my disc and turn it into a curved top. And the process to do that is exactly the same way as we've been doing before. We're going to click on create, going to click on revolve, and this time we're going to select. So click on select here. Let's just do it the right way around. Selected. Select the axis over here. And because I've done this before, what you'll need to change is make sure it should be set to new body, but I'm going to select mine to cut, as you can see, and what's highlighted in red is going to be cut off, and click OK. And now if we look at this, zoom out this time, my disc has been sculpted to have a disc like top, so a curved top that we can do all kinds of things with. So let's just have a look at that again. So that's what we can do. We can now create these other shapes to make our simple disc shape much more complicated in shape by using the revolve tool again. Let's say, for example, that now I've made this shape, I actually wanted to modify the top and add something to it. Let's say, for example, we wanted to drill a hole through this. We could have done it a different way, but let's just say we've decided at a later point we wanted to add something to this curved surface. It's difficult to do. You can't just draw straight on it because Fusion360 doesn't quite know where you're working. So we need to create an offset plane. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on construct, offset plane, choose the plane we want to offset. I'm going to offset this by, let's do it 30 millimeters. I think that's going to be enough. Click OK. Now it's on this plane that I now want to draw and then backwards project. So let's click on the solid here, click on the plane I want to draw on, and let's just create some circles. So let's make these 15. So there's one. Another one on here, make it 15 as well, and we'll do a third one over here. Now we'll align those up. So just to revise quickly how to do this, we're going to click on the center one, click on the other one over here, and let's make them 30 millimeters apart. That'll do. And we'll do the same thing on here. Click on the center of this one, click on the center of that one, drag them up. Oh, and that one is exactly 30. There we go. So now we've got these three objects here. I can finish this sketch, and we're going to use the E tool and select them. So E shortcut key. And we haven't looked yet at this function here. What we can do is we can set a taper angle. So we can see here, let's make a 10-degree taper angle. And we can set the distance. So let's make that 20. Oh, went the wrong way. What we want them to do is go backwards. So we're going to set this to -20. And now they've gone into the object. And we're not going to be cutting. So we're going to come back and click them into join. And there we go. We've now click OK. We've now got this modified shape here where the complex shape has now molded with the cones, conic sections, and is made as one model. And that's how you can create, use the offset plane to add content to a curved surface. Right, let's have a look at making this disc even more sculpted by adding another rotate function. Okay, so what we're going to do is click on here, choose our plane again, and we're going to zoom in just like we did before, just to practice this revolve function to sculpt a shape. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use this fit spline tool again, and this time I'm going to click on here, I'm going to click in the center, I'm going to create like a central disc. I'm going to click somewhere up here will do. I'm just going to drag this all the way down to this point here, and I'm going to come back to this point here, and I just want to be able to close this off. Click and just drag. The important thing is that you create a complete shape, and finish sketch, and we've now got this complete shape. So I'm going to now use this new complete shape to scoop out the inside of our disc. Again, let's come back to create, come back to revolve, and step through the process again. This time we're going to select the revolve axis, which is going to be here on the center line here. And again, I want to make sure it's cut. It is. So click OK. And now if we look inside this, we should see a cutout area. So from that simple square that we created, or two-pointed rectangle, and using the pen tool, we've been able to create a much more complex curved object using the revolve tool to sculpt these blocks, if you like. If you think of it as a block of clay, for example, and then using a profile to sculpt in a circle, we can create these much more complicated shapes. And so using the revolve tool and a combination of the draw tools allows you to create much more complex shapes. Thank you for watching this Sharp Canane tutorial. Until the next one, ka kite anō.